Now back to the show. This is The Law Show on CL 650.
Welcome back. It's good to have you with us. Our guests from Murphy Batista LLP, Joe Murphy and Angela Price Stevens. We're talking insurance on this episode of The Law Show, which may seem a little incongruous, except if you're a lawyer, you deal with a lot of insurance companies and a lot of things that have gone wrong with the coverage allegedly provided by said insurance coverage companies. And I think these last two categories are pretty good, pretty full of examples of cases that lawyers like you handle all the time. The last two types of insurance we're going to talk about today are disability insurance and travel insurance. The faster of the two categories is travel, I think, Joe, and I want to spend more time on disability. So when we purchase travel insurance, whether it's for a trip to Ontario or down to Seattle, is the advice here, Angela, anyone who travels outside of British Columbia, regardless of for how long or for what reason, should have travel insurance with him or her?
Absolutely. Again, that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Particularly where we are geographically situated here in Vancouver, it's just it's a day trip to the States.
Sure.
And as all the posters, as you're crossing the border or about to cross the border, remind us, health insurance there or health coverage when you're there is not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, a smart person will have coverage, and if you're the kind of person to go away for extended periods of time, or somebody who just crosses the border for odd days but does that regularly, you should look at a policy that maybe you take out annually.
Oh, okay. Because most of us will go to BCAA or someplace like that, and we're going away for 3 days, and you buy a little $15 package, and off you go.
Maybe that is suitable in particular situations. So it's important that you look at your options, you consider what is right for you.
Okay, now let's move on to disability. So anyone traveling, buy travel insurance. It's just ridiculously inexpensive. Could save you a lot of headaches.
Sterling, the key with travel insurance is like the life insurance policy, to make sure the questions, and oftentimes they're qualifying questions,
right,
are accurately answered. The other risk with travel insurance is if you're having symptoms before you go in something that's diagnosed after you're on your trip, it's usually excluded. So those policies have a long list of things that are not covered.
Okay.
And the bigger the hospital bill, the more careful the insurance company looks at what might allow them to deny the claim.
Okay, and let's talk disability in our remaining few minutes here. And this is something that in most workplaces we have disability insurance. You get your life insurance. You can tick a box for disability, and we don't think of it much. Do people buy, Angela? Do we go out and buy disability insurance, or are we most likely to be covered by it through another brand of insurance policy?
Well, usually, a typical situation, I don't know that, I don't have the statistics, but typically people will obtain disability insurance through their employer.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you're self-employed, and then you either buy into a group scheme or you do some other private arrangement. But I think Joe touched on this earlier. Anything that is linked to a particular employer may seem quite attractive at the time. You may get a decent group rate.
Mm-hmm.
But things change. I mean, employers change, and what you don't want to end up in a situation where you're out of luck with that policy, or you've changed employer.
Well, even in this building, we've had 3 different owners in the last 3 years. Now, fortunately for most of us, the paperwork has remained the same, but there's no guarantee that that's going to. One company can come in and just present a whole other package of coverage, then you just tick the box and hope for the best, I guess, in most cases, right?
That's right. And, the vast majority of us, fortunately, we don't need to make a claim, but you're really out of luck if you've had an injury, you have some illness, and you're then looking to claim on it. And, people live, their lifestyle generally, they expand to what their income is. And
Sure.
so can you imagine, living to your lifestyle and then suddenly you're out of luck as far as you've been injured, you can't work, you then have to rely on this policy that you've been paying into, and you feel that you've had some, you've rest assured because you're covered, only to have that claim denied.
And this is where Joe, who's rolling his eyes towards the heavens a lot in this last few moments, this is for lawyers, Joe. Disability insurance is a real dicey category. A lot of claims denied. A lot of fighting with insurance companies.
My experience, Sterling, is that disability insurers are very quick to deny a claim.
Okay.
And very reluctant to review that decision. People are told, we've denied your claim, but there's an appeal process. And usually companies have 2 levels of appeal, and people go through them. And what I found is generally the appeals are decided by the same people in the insurance company. Maybe there's a little bit of a different mix, but it's more destined in my mind to wear people down as opposed to provide an honest review of a claim.
Okay.
These are tragic cases because these people depend on this insurance. They can't work. Something bad has happened.
Yes.
They've got a family to support, usually. And it's like having a savings account where the account's locked down and you say, well, I need that money. I've got rent to pay. I've got a mortgage to pay.
Sure.
I got groceries to buy. And they just say no. And it doesn't matter what they do. And those are the people that come in to see us. They're the people that the claim's been denied. They said, my God, they've gone through the appeal process thinking, well, it's just, I just have to provide more information. And it gets denied anyways. And I just am shocked sometimes at how, in my mind, dishonest a disability insurer has been at taking a claim that clearly says this person can't work,
right,
and say we're not going to pay you. It's just tragic because these are what are called peace of mind insurance policies. You buy them so if you can't work, you got the peace of mind knowing your family's not going to starve.
Right.
And they get denied regardless of how compelling the evidence is that the person can't work.
Can you overturn those denials in court? Obviously, you're both looking at each other. Obviously, you've taken more than a few of these cases on. I imagine it's a pitched battle, and there's probably blood on the floor by the time it's over. But can they get overturned? Can you get these people their rightful monies?
My experience, Sterling, in every case we've done is the insurance company before trial has said, okay, we'll pay.
Oh, really?
But then they want to make a deal for the balance of the benefits. So there was never a really good basis for them to deny, but they just didn't want to pay.
And it takes time to do that. So you can imagine a lot of financial damage, collateral damage can be done in just 6 months. And within a year, somebody could have lost their home. So time is of the essence in these cases.
Right. And I guess a bottom line, and we've discussed all sorts of insurance, and a couple of times I've asked you, so anybody ever call you up going, I have an insurance question, I'm just not sure about something? You said not usually, but if they did, you'd probably answer their questions, wouldn't you?
I would answer to the best of my ability, recognizing that I would need to see the policy and have things in context.
Of course, yeah.
But yes, of course, I would always be trying to help.
Pay attention to the small print. This is the stuff that we all laugh about. I can't read that nano font. Well, you guess what? Hire a lawyer or get a magnifying glass or do both. It's really important stuff. Joe Murphy, QC, Angela Price-Stevens, thank you so much, both of you, for popping in again this morning on another episode of The Law Show. Lovely to have you both stop by.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Sterling.
The Redhead is coming right at you here on CIL 650.